The internet was supposed to be a gateway to knowledge, freedom, and connectivity. It promised a world where information flowed freely, where people could communicate across continents in an instant, and where businesses could operate without borders. But lurking beneath the surface, in the dark corners of cyberspace, an entirely different economy was being built. One driven not by innovation and progress, but by deception, theft, and chaos. Over the decades, cybercrime has evolved from simple pranks to sophisticated, billion-dollar operations that threaten individuals, corporations, and entire nations. In the early days of the internet, hacking was more about curiosity than crime. The first known cybercriminals were mischievous college students and tech enthusiasts who broke into systems just to prove that they could. But it didn't take long for people to realize that these digital intrusions could be weaponized. One of the first major cybercrimes occurred in 1988, when the Morris worm, created by a Cornell University student, spread uncontrollably, infecting nearly 10% of all internet-connected computers. Though not designed for financial gain, this incident exposed the vulnerabilities of the digital world, setting the stage for what was to come. The 1990s saw a shift. As businesses and banks moved online, criminals followed. One of the most infamous cyber heists of the decade was the attack on Citibank in 1994, when Russian hacker Vladimir Levin and his team stole over $10 million by exploiting the bank's electronic funds transfer system. This marked the beginning of organized cybercrime, where digital heists were no longer the work of lone individuals but coordinated groups operating with precision. Perhaps one of the most audacious cybercrime acts of all time was the Bangladesh bank heist of 2016. Hackers infiltrated the central bank system and attempted to steal nearly $1 billion by exploiting vulnerabilities in the SWIFT banking network. They successfully funneled $81 million before a simple typo in one of their fraudulent transactions raised suspicion. The attack exposed glaring weaknesses in the financial industry's cybersecurity infrastructure and demonstrated how even central banks were not immune to cybercriminals. Cybercriminals have also turned to the dark web to build illegal marketplaces where illicit goods and services are traded. The most notorious of these was Silk Road, founded by Ross Ulbricht in 2011. Silk Road operated as a black market e-commerce platform, allowing users to purchase drugs, weapons, and counterfeit documents using Bitcoin. Despite its eventual shutdown by the FBI in 2013, numerous successors emerged, including Alphabi and Hansa, proving that the demand for such services remains strong. One of the most disturbing trends in cybercrime is the rise of deepfake technology. Initially seen as a novelty, deepfakes have become a powerful tool for fraud and misinformation. Cybercriminals have used AI-generated videos and voice simulations to impersonate CEOs, tricking employees into transferring millions of dollars. In 2019, a UK-based energy firm fell victim to such a scam when fraudsters, using AI-generated audio, convinced an executive to wire $243,000 to a fake account. State-sponsored cybercrime has also escalated, with governments using hacking groups as tools of warfare and espionage. Groups like China's APT-41, Russia's Fancy Bear, and North Korea's Lazarus Group have carried out sophisticated attacks on corporations, governments, and critical infrastructure. The 2017 WannaCry ransomware attack, attributed to North Korea, infected over 200,000 computers in 150 countries, causing billions in damages. The attack leveraged an exploit stolen from the U.S. National Security Agency, raising concerns about the security of government cyber weapons. A particularly bold cyber attack was the 2014 Sony Pictures hack, allegedly carried out by North Korea. The attack, in retaliation for the release of the satirical film The Interview, led to the leak of confidential company emails, employee data, and unreleased films. The breach not only caused financial losses but also raised fears about how cyber attacks could be used to suppress free speech and manipulate the entertainment industry. Cybercriminals have also infiltrated cryptocurrency exchanges, stealing billions in digital assets. One of the biggest heists occurred in 2022 when hackers exploited vulnerabilities in the Ronin network, a blockchain associated with the game Axie Infinity. The attackers siphoned off $625 million in Ethereum and USDC, marking one of the largest thefts in crypto history. The incident underscored the risks of decentralized finance and the vulnerabilities of blockchain networks. Another alarming development is the use of cybercrime for large-scale identity theft. The 2017 Equifax data breach exposed sensitive personal information of nearly 147 million Americans, including social security numbers, addresses, and credit card details. The attack, attributed to a group linked to the Chinese government, highlighted the dangers of poor cybersecurity practices in companies handling vast amounts of consumer data. Hacktivism, where hacking is used for political or social activism, has also grown more sophisticated. Groups like Anonymous have targeted government agencies, corporations, and extremist groups to expose corruption and human rights violations. While some view hacktivists as digital vigilantes, their actions often blur the line between activism and criminal activity, raising ethical and legal debates about their impact. As cybercrime continues to evolve, so do the methods of law enforcement agencies trying to combat it. International cooperation has led to major takedowns, such as the 2021 operation that dismantled the Emotet botnet, one of the most dangerous malware distribution networks. However, the constant innovation of cybercriminals means that the battle against digital crime is far from over. Despite efforts to strengthen cybersecurity, the rapid advancement of technology ensures that new threats will continue to emerge. As artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and IoT devices become more widespread, cybercriminals will find new ways to exploit vulnerabilities. The future of cybercrime is not just about financial theft. It's about power, influence, and control in a world that is increasingly dependent on digital infrastructure. With the dawn of the 2000s, cybercrime became industrialized. The rise of phishing attacks, fraudulent emails designed to trick people into giving away sensitive information, exploded. In 2004, a group of hackers known as the Shadow Crew orchestrated a massive identity theft operation, stealing millions of credit card numbers and selling them on underground forums. Their arrest by the Secret Service was one of the first major crackdowns on cybercriminal networks, but it was far from the last. The mid-2000s also saw the emergence of botnets, networks of infected computers controlled remotely by cybercriminals. These zombie networks were used for everything from sending spam to launching distributed denial of service, DDoS, attacks that could cripple entire websites. One of the most notorious botnets, Zeus, infected millions of computers worldwide, stealing banking credentials and facilitating fraud on an unprecedented scale. By the 2010s, cybercrime had become a global industry worth billions. Hackers no longer needed to be tech geniuses. Cybercrime as a service had arrived. Underground markets on the dark web allowed anyone to purchase hacking tools, stolen data, or even hire professional cybercriminals for attacks. The Mirai botnet attack in 2016, which took down major internet services across the US, showed just how powerful these tools had become. The attackers had simply used common internet-connected devices, security cameras, routers, and baby monitors to unleash one of the largest cyber attacks in history. But cybercrime was no longer just about money. It became a weapon of warfare. State-sponsored hacking grew into a major geopolitical threat. Countries like Russia, China, North Korea, and Iran have been accused of using cyber attacks to spy on rivals, disrupt economies, and even manipulate elections. The 2017 WannaCry ransomware attack, attributed to North Korea, infected over 200,000 computers across 150 countries, demanding Bitcoin ransoms to unlock the encrypted data. It crippled hospitals, businesses, and government agencies, exposing the devastating potential of cyber warfare. Another evolution in cybercrime came with cryptojacking, the hijacking of computer resources to secretly mine cryptocurrency. Unlike ransomware, where victims know they've been attacked, cryptojacking operates silently, draining system resources and slowing down devices. In 2018, the CoinHive cryptojacking malware spread like wildfire, infecting websites and turning unsuspecting visitors into free labor for mining Monero, an anonymous cryptocurrency favored by criminals. Data breaches, once rare, became a daily occurrence. In 2013, hackers infiltrated Yahoo, stealing data from 3 billion user accounts, the largest breach in history. Equifax, Target, and Marriott soon followed, with millions of customers' personal information falling into the wrong hands. These breaches were not just about identity theft. They provided cybercriminals with the data needed to launch more targeted and convincing attacks. As artificial intelligence and automation advanced, so did cybercrime. AI-powered phishing scams could generate convincing fake emails in seconds. Deepfake technology, once a novelty, was weaponized to create fraudulent videos and voice recordings, making impersonation scams more believable than ever. A 2019 case in the UK saw cybercriminals use AI-generated voice deepfakes to trick a company executive into wiring $243,000 to a fraudulent account. Perhaps the most concerning evolution is the rise of ransomware as a service, RaaS. Criminals no longer need technical skills to launch ransomware attacks. They can simply buy pre-built ransomware kits online. Groups like REvil and DarkSide have operated like legitimate businesses, complete with customer support and negotiation teams. In 2021, the attack on Colonial Pipeline shut down fuel distribution across the U.S. East Coast, causing panic and economic disruption. The attackers, later identified as an Eastern European hacking group, demanded millions in cryptocurrency, proving just how much damage a single ransomware attack could cause. Even with advancements in cybersecurity, the evolution of cybercrime shows no signs of slowing. The introduction of quantum computing, while promising for technological progress, could also render current encryption methods useless, leaving personal and corporate data exposed. The arms race between cybercriminals and security experts continues, and as history has shown, criminals are often one step ahead. What started as a game for a handful of hackers in the 1980s has transformed into one of the most lucrative and dangerous industries in the world. Cybercrime is no longer just about stealing money. It's about power, manipulation, and disruption. Every time we log in, click a link, or enter our personal information online, we are stepping into a battlefield where the enemy remains unseen but ever present. The evolution of cybercrime is far from over, and its next chapter may be even more terrifying than what we've seen so far.